Howdy, and welcome back to Disco Elysium with Wickedstorm Gaming. We're still talking to her. Did you communists know you to shoot back?
Did they ever? Before they got shot themselves, they shot 2 million people.
Damn. I think the population of this world might be a lot higher than I thought it was. Truly a kerfuffle.
Yeah, it was a kerfuffle, all right.
Was it now?
Yes, the Insulindian deluge, they call it.
A deluge too in my head. Anyone else get shot in the head on the opposing
lots
side?
of people. Even the king got shot in the head, or thrown beneath a horse, or drowned. Accounts differ. It was unceremonious. Just as well, he wasn't actually the king. Just the king's nephew. The real king abdicated and lived out a long and productive life as a venture capitalist in Grad.
I love that king fucking communist. I don't care what kings tell you. Yeah,
About head shooting.
About mineral rights.
The liberals got the mineral rights. And by mineral rights, I mean everything. Liberals are usually middle-class people, Detective. Or the remaining gentry. The beneficiaries of the pre-revolutionary arrangement. Some were rich enough to stay with the Constitution, with monarchy. Big mistake. Others bet on the revolution. They were called the ultras, or ultra-liberals. They fared well.
Did they now?
They didn't win so much as survive. We were the last ones standing when the war ended. Everyone else got shot in the head, remember?
Oh yes, the head shooting thing. You did mention that.
She's one of them. Of course.
Oh, is she now?
To foreign intervention. The coalition. Those people really took the mineral rights.
You said they took
The liberals
everything.
took everything that wasn't nailed to the ground. The coalition took the ground. The ocean, the laws, and the people. The coalition of nations. Grad, Mesk, Vesper, Messina, Oranje, and Sur-la-Clay. The armed center of the world. They landed here and ended the revolution. It was the moralist thing to do. The moralists believe in keeping everything exactly the way it is. They believe in mineral rights, and not shooting people in the head. At least not in the same manner and volume as the others do. They are the long-standing provisional rulers of Revachol now, the coalition government.
The rulers of Revachol. And also the world. These guys are strong.
How are they now?
This is their zone of control. They embolden the RCM with crumbs of the same law they took. Technically speaking, you are a moralist.
Look what I've heard about you. I'm always picking the opinion that doesn't commit to anything. Then hell yes I am, and also not.
An almost endearingly moralist standpoint.
I choose nothing,
It
but
must
also
be hard
everything.
to take a moderate approach to head shooting in your line of work.
When was the
Turn of
kerfuffle?
the century revolution?
Probably at the turn of the century.
Don't answer it. It's a trick question. The revolution began in '02 on the Isla of Grad, though by the end, nearly the whole world had gotten involved.
How'd you get the whole world in on one revolution?
It wasn't a who, but a what. A pandemic of Zarat, a particularly virulent prion disease, which the authorities in Grad proved unable to contain. Then Mazov came along and overthrew the government. It made people overthrow their governments.
Ah, it's a hell of a disease.
Of course not. It was a highly infectious microorganism that destroyed brain tissue. The actual causes of the revolution were material. The pandemic only provided the spark. From Revachol and Grad? Not far. The world managed to cauterize itself. Mazov's government was overthrown in '08, and the coalition crushed the Revachol commune 2 years later. It was the end.
The end, you say?
Why?
Considering
You and
put
I,
that-
officer.
Yeah, between Astra
Our
City
lives in the zone of control.
Something tells you her life and yours are not that similar.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No doubt. But we share the same time and position on the planet's crust. That counts for more than you think.
Fair enough.
A city-state divided into free market zones under the everlasting interregnum of the Coalition of Nations. And you, of course, the citizens' militia.
The clatter of typewriter keys fills the main hall of the reappropriated silk mill.
You
Precinct
confused me
41.
again. I was...
Chad Tilbrook presses enter. Outside, Officer Elfboy Williams slams the door of an armored motor carriage.
You confused the fuck out of me for a second there. I was like, what typewriters? What hall? We're outside.
The zone of control is the third incarnation of Revachol, after the failure of the Suzerain and the Commune.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that we have flashbacks to... or flashovers? We flash somewhere over to the police station. Just randomly. I don't know why.
Modernity. They developed the marvels of the inter-eastlery communication. Telematic milieus, radiation, colored plastics. Meanwhile,
Really?
in Revachol West, the aftermath continues for the 5th decade. 43 years. Hard to fathom, I know.
Wow.
The 20s saw a decade of urban war, west of the river leveled, offshore platforms in flames. Still, it's regarded as an improvement on what came before. 08 to 19 was simply hell. The 30s? Things settled down in the 30s. Revachol East transformed itself into the world's largest tax haven, with the international community's blessing. For the first time in a long time, it seemed like things were going somewhere.
Again, putting it between asterisks like this just...
No,
Yeah,
it was a market mirage fueled by cocaine and quantitative easing. The 40s
Cocaine.
dispelled it like a cold splash, an Isla-wide hangover, you might say. And here we are.
In the hangover.
Welcome to reality, baby. Good question. What would you have done differently?
Welcome to reality. I asked you first. Who would have sought a medical solution? Sounds like... I don't know how to pronounce that. Drove these people mad. I would have killed more. 400 million. What? No, we weren't even in the revolution. How could we have done anything different about that? I think we're talking about like just recently. Not drink till I lost my memory would have been a good thing not to do. Mineral rights, I don't know what I would have done. I asked you!
And I asked you, past-less detective of the citizens' militia, what insight has acute encephalopathy given to you?
Here's some wisdom, lady. Say the death thing.
Yeah. No, so it sounds like it should have drove these people mad. I'm not saying the death thing. 400 million people, that's insane. It's an insane number of people. Where'd you bury them all? Jesus. So medical solutions, yeah.
So a quarter of humanity simply lost their minds. And how would you stop a prion, a complex folding protein, unlife, with the technology 50 years ago?
Liquidate the rabid... What? Cleansing artillery fire. That sounds like some Warhammer 40k solution right there. It's like, how do we stop it? Glass the planet. Just glass the fucker. We provide that helicopter worth it does not turn the brain to sponge to, eh? Maybe it's a possible happens. Yeah, hygiene, monosols to care. We know that doesn't work. Corona proved that bullshit.
Always. That's the can't-do attitude that truly defines late modernity. You may prove a modern man yet.
Opinions expressed here do not reflect the official position of the RCM.
And what is your official position, Lieutenant?
My position, ma'am? My parents got ripped to shreds in the revolution. I would have gone the same way. I was saved by being 2 years old. That's my position. The abattoir.
Wow.
Understandable.
Mm-hmm.
They are what they are. Who knows? An afterbloom may yet come. Anyway, enough sentimentality. Is there anything else you want to know?
Not so fast. Who is she in all this? Ask her who she is. She owes you an answer. She won't maneuver her way out of this one.
What's Ari?
I am the vilest of the vile. A traitor. A devourer of nations and infants.
I feel like you're blowing yourself out of proportion.
I
fuck you
am an
eat it.
ultra.
How the fuck you eat a nation?
It's sharp.
A liberal! I prepared myself. So, well, she just said she ate children, but, that's kind of fucked up. A liberal, oh my god! So, where did I learn Spanish? What's an ultra?
An ultra-liberal. It's a type of liberal. From the revolution. It's, not the moderate kind.
I'll liberate pretty hard myself.
Not like me. I am the nether creature of the Forbidden Swamp who pushed the king under a shit wagon and betrayed the revolution. Are you liberated enough to offer up your home on a plate for financial colonists? No, I think not.
I'm not even sure I have a home.
Tell me, now that I've uncoiled myself, do you find me frightening?
In her green eyes you see a mixture of truth and self-satire. Decades of guilt and pride. Forgive her. But only because you like pearlescent teeth and those light green eyes.
Only because you're charming. What the fuck? You're a monster. I don't care. I forgive you.
I do hope so.
I don't know
I do hope we're
what
able
I'm
to
forgiving
remain
her for,
collegial despite it all.
but I forgive her.
Tell me, when you look in the mirror, do you not see a monster staring back at you?
I have a weird look stuck on my face that I have not been able to get off for 4 days.
When the dust settled, the liberals were the only ones left to clean up the mess. By virtue of their survival, they were handed enormous power to shape the future. This was all our last generation managed. With due respect to our overlords, the eternal caretaker government that keeps Martinez a monument to the efficacy of its artillery.
An appropriate warning to those who cross the line and pull the city into madness once more.
I would not have relinquished
I've been doing
sovereignty to
that.
the coalition. Not here in Martinez.
Not a big
And
enough
not
skill to
in
get
Stella
noticed, but I think
Maris
I've been
or
doing
Delta
that.
Beachheads either. If not for my own sake. Then for my daughters. We had an obligation to defend our sovereignty. We should have burned the whole Isola down rather than let them have it.
Dark orange flames reflect in her green eyes. An oil fire on the ocean.
Yes. I suppose I am.
Oh, you know.
But I wouldn't be a patriot anywhere but here.
Yeah.
Seditious talk, ma'am.
Perhaps. My intellectual vanity will be my undoing.
Very possible.
Yes. Whatever else I am, I'm also a mother. And a wife. Now, shall we return to reality?
It sounds like reality, but sure, why not? Again, though, shouldn't we tell her that Everett is planning a war, basically? Actually, now that she mentioned that artillery, I'm not feeling so confident about Everett's war there. Anywho's,
6 kilometers southwest, in the Valley of Dogs, Junior Officer Chad Tilbrook takes aim at a rabid black dog licking its wounds in the grass. To his left, his partner, Emil Mullins, whispers, "You heard what happened to Tequila Sunset in Martinez?"
No, fuck you talking about?
"Yes, he lost his mind," Tilbrook answers, fingers on the trigger. "Don't worry, Emil." He pulls it out slowly. Slowly now. He'll find it again. We always do.
Huh?
You?
Me?
You're an officer of the RCM.
I am.
Preciso mundo. Nothing more nor less than the de facto law enforcement body of post-revolutionary Revachol, Detective.
Hooray!
Yes, we are the Revachol Citizens Militia.
Indeed we are.
He's being sarcastic.
Are we?
We are.
Oh!
Yes, that means not de jure. The RCM acts in what is poetically called the twilight of international law, both at the behest of the coalition government and to its chagrin. The RCM's responsibilities
So it's
are
just a
defined by the
wealth of
Emergency,
knowledge.
Wayfarer and Aliments Acts, 3 pieces of legislation keeping the city in a, let's be honest, laissez-faire stasis to the benefit of foreign capital.
Yeah, this lady's just a wealth of information that I really feel like I should have, used before I got to episode 70-something.
All three
I
are good to
legitimately
know
forgot
when
she
we
was
are
here.
out policing.
A thrall to foreign interests. I'm basically one of the good guys. Going to avoid this such and ask the next question line of the time. I'm a thrall!
There's nothing basic about your role, Detective. It's true that the RCM keeps everything the way our seemingly permanent provisional rulers like it. Yet, on the other hand, I know these people. I deal with them daily. Let me tell you, dear, they are not fans of you. The post-revolutionary decade was a disaster for the coalition government. Revachol in the 20s was hell, especially on the west side of the river. Gang warfare, a botched privatization scheme, a nuclear pile meltdown.
Well, from what I gathered, that nuclear fucking reactor they tried to build out of scraps and spare parts, they didn't even know what the fuck they were doing. They're... I'm gonna say they were lucky they got what they did, but
They called it the
Could have been worse. They could have took out the whole
international
damn city.
zone because no nation wanted to claim responsibility. The RCM restored peace where the coalition failed. A true blue citizens' initiative. They will never forgive you.
Oh, fuck them.
That's somewhat of an exaggeration. In reality, ours is a mutually beneficial arrangement. Revacholians get to keep the peace in Revachol, and the coalition doesn't have to worry about it. Anyway, sorry to intrude. Please continue.
Thank you, kid.
Yes, Lieutenant. Permit me to conclude with this. Who you are, to me, is the police. The only legitimate law enforcement authority in Revachol.
Thank you.
And if those authorities drink so hard they need help recalling the basic terms of reality, well, I'm here to help.
To be fair, I think that's only just me.
Nothing more nor less than...
Yes, we...
He's being sarcastic.
Yes, that means... Permit me to conclude with this. And if those authorities drink so hard they need help recalling
What is
a
this? I don't know.
bird? Sphenicid? A flightless bird of the polar regions?
I don't know what I was getting at with that either, honestly. Keep guessing.
Some sort of krill hunter? No, wait. You're an ancient ruin. A symbol of hubris and decay. Half submerged in some salty sea.
Really?
Of course you're not, my dear. I'm just terrible at guessing games.
Okay.
Ah! This
Yeah.
is the pier of Rue de Saint-Ghislaine, 33A, where the tenants have been kind enough to rent me a slot.
How kind of them. Is there actually a slot to rent, or are you just getting scammed?
Or two.
It's a pretty big boat.
A pre-revolutionary tenement.
Like,
Old
is there anybody
buildings are
actually
called
watching
tenements,
these
you see.
docs, or did some
And
random
new
fuckhead
buildings,
just walk up and like,
bâtiments.
hey, it's $30 to park there?
After les bâtiments nouveaux. But 33A and 33B are not nouveaux. They're old.
Yeah.
This one used to be 8 to 10 stories tall. A real
wow,
high-rise
really?
by the standards of the last century. Built to mirror the skyscrapers across the bay in the Delta. That was before the war, of course. Mostly the urban middle class, I believe. This was once primo real estate, before the cannons lopped 4 or 5 stories off.
It's kind of wild that they just kind of knock the top off the buildings, and people are like, the bottom half still looks good.
Splat, splat.
Give Joyce the evil her red paintbrush held to her by her... What?
You could be wrong, but from here it appears as if she's running the brush across her throat in a soaring motion.
I mean, mildly threatening, but not really relevant to the conversation, I don't think.
Wonderful.
Yes. She seems to be a fan of you. Anyway, like it if you liked it, subscribe if you want, share if you can, and do what you want. We'll continue this conversation next time. See you then. Have fun.